Hello, my mindful yogis, it's Mike. Today we're going to do a gentle flow that's really going to put a focus on relieving tension in the lower back area, so the lumbar spine. A lot of these poses just focusing on creating some space, creating some decompression through the lumbar spine, as well as some gentle twists that are going to really work to, again, create just some openness and some relief if you have some tightness or some pain or discomfort in your lower back. And I feel like it goes without saying, but of course don't do anything that I'm recommending if it doesn't feel good in your body, right? Don't force anything. There shouldn't be any pinching. There shouldn't be anything like that. But sometimes the stretch may be a little bit uncomfortable, right? And I feel like it's kind of inherently known in your body if you're causing pain or if you're just being in a stretch that's a little uncomfortable, right? So just really being and listening for that. We will start in child's pose today, So take your knees nice and wide, settle back onto your heels. Just allowing yourself to land here. It's a nice flow for at the end of the day, or if you just want to get in a quick stretch, gentle stretch without too much heat, without any fire. Settle back. Child's pose is a really nice pose for taking out some tension from the low back, right? Creating length through your lower back here. Really sitting your hips back onto your heels. Your ujjayi breath here, long fluid breaths through the nose. Audible breath. Intentional breath. And with your hands a little bit further forward. Press your tailbone a little bit further back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Move into a side body stretch from child's pose. So you'll walk your hands over to the left side of your mat to get a right side body stretch. So your right hand roughly where your left hand was, and then your left hand can come just off your mat, off to the side, And then you can rest down here on your forehead. Really breathing into the right side of the body here. Ground your hands, your knuckles. Expand and contract the ribs with your breath. Feel that. Open up the whole right side of the body on the breath in. Fill. And then empty. A couple more like that. Big breaths. Sending that energy through the side body. Through the low back. Breathe. Open and then empty. And walk back through center. Child's pose off to the other side, So your left hand where your right hand should be, and then right hand just off the mat. Forehead down. Breathe here into the left side body. Getting that stretch through the side body. For me, it opens through the low back a little bit, right? Creating more space there. Breathe in, fill up, and empty. Lengthen your side body, space in the lower back, and then let it go. One more breath here, in and out. Come back to center, child's pose. Come up into tabletop, So you'll shift onto your hands and your knees. Get your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. The toes are curled under, as opposed to pointed. You want the toes curled underneath, heels over the toes. We'll move through some cat-cow, Cat-cow's a really great way to move the spine to get some space happening in the lower back. So on your inhale, let the belly drop. Look up to the ceiling, open through the front of the chest, and then on the exhale, you really press the ground and round the back. So nice here, scooping the tailbone down. That'll help to relieve tension in the lower back. Then reverse that so the tailbone points up. Now just to the right spot, feel that, a stretch through the front of the body, chest forward. And then press, really exaggerate this. Yeah, like a cat, like a Halloween cat, the spine rounded, tailbone scoops down. We'll do 3 more with the breath here. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Again, look up, chest forward, tailbone up, and then press. Relieve that stretch in the low back there. Curl the tailbone down. Press 1 more in to cow. And out to cat. Come down. So here, so like a neutral spine, flat back. And we'll move into a shoulder and a side body stretch. Come onto your right hand, put the weight onto your right hand, and you'll shift so that your left arm threads underneath your left, sorry, your left arm underneath, right arm threads underneath your left shoulder. Okay, so you're gonna come down onto your right shoulder here. You can bend, you're gonna have to bend the left elbow, yeah? Kind of bend it, and just let your right cheek rest on the floor. So a twist here again, and the twists help to relieve the low back, getting that length up and out of the waist. Just resting on the right shoulder. Breathe. And twist. A couple more here. Really feel that opening. Big stretch through the spine, the side body, shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. And gently come back to center. Bring yourself up to tabletop. Switch sides. So you're going to bring, let me try this again here. Left arm underneath your right shoulder and come down onto your left shoulder. Yeah, and just let the right elbow bend out to the side. And resting. Find a good spot, right? You might have to move your arm up or down a little bit to find the spot where you get the most stretch in your shoulder and in your side body, in your low back. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath here. And you'll come back to center. Tabletop. We're going to move into a down dog here for a moment, okay? So take the hips up and back. Lift up through the tailbone. And what really helps here for relieving any low back tension in down dog is a big bend in the knees, yeah? So scooping the tailbone, instead of your tailbone pointing way up, you can scoop it down a little bit. So taking, again, some relief, let's fix this, some relief out of your low back. Pressing down through the heels, but keeping a softness through the knees. Your heels might be way up off the mat. That's okay if they need to be, to relieve the lower back. Soften the elbows. Just kind of pedal it out. Feel out your downward facing dog, like work, squeeze. And walk up to the top of your mat. We'll move into a ragdoll here. So any forward fold is actually really nice for, again, decompressing the lumbar spine, so decompressing the lower back. From here, just in ragdoll, interlacing your hands, your biceps, and letting the weight of your arms, it just helps, again, with more decompression. You don't need to hold up your head, yeah? So if you're trying to do something like that, looking forward, just let go of the weight of the head. Again, more release, more length through the neck, through the spine. It might feel nice to sway from side to side here. It might feel nice to stay still. Your body, your choice. Press your feet down. Drive your tailbone up, yeah? So really getting into the legs. The support there from your legs, inner ankles back, outer ankles down. Firm them up. Press. Let your upper body go even more length than your lumbar spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your fingertips down to the mat. And you're just gonna come up to a halfway lift, yeah? So lengthen your spine forward. Again, feel that tailbone back, crown of the head forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step back and lower down onto your knees. So again, onto tabletop, yeah? Come onto your hands and your knees. From your hands and your knees, you're just gonna come back onto your belly. So you can walk your feet back, lower down slowly. And we're moving into seal pose here, okay? So this is a back bend, yes. So we're gonna be opening up the lower back, but we're gonna be doing it really gently here, okay? So again, you wanna feel this out. If there's pinching in your low back, don't do anything that feels bad, right? Doesn't feel good. You wanna feel like some openness there. So seal pose, even more gentle than a cobra or a baby cobra. So the hands are out in front of your mat, so just like maybe a foot out in front of the mat, and then you're just gonna lift up really gently. So just lifting up a few inches, the chest forward. That feels nice in my back. If it doesn't feel good, maybe you're on your forearms and it's just a really gentle, like Sphinx pose here. But wherever you are, just trying to find that extension. So you're lengthening up through the crown of the head to find some space in the spine, some space in the lower back. Breathing, right? Don't forget to breathe. Ujjayi. Breathe in, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Press your palms, your fingers into the floor. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And gently come down, just a gentle counter pose. So stack your hands, your palms, and just rest your forehead on your hands for a minute here. And feel, put your attention on your low back. Put your breath, your energy in that area of the body. Your attention is going, your blood's going to flow, your breath's going to assist you, just really bringing the energy, the attention to where you're trying to create a release. And just do that. Allow for a release in your low back. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Okay, so we're going to move into puppy pose. This is a nice release in the low back as well. Palms on the ground, forearms down, and you'll just start to walk your knees in a part way. Puppy pose, you want to think of like a puppy playing, yeah? So you can have your toes pointed or curled under, that's really kind of your choice, but like a puppy that's ready to pounce, right? And you can even do that like you're wagging your tail, like a puppy wags its bum, right? So just feeling that in the low back, you can kind of shift the hips from side to side. This doesn't feel nice on your knees, you can put a towel under your knees if you need to, or roll up your, fold up your mat a little bit. Just really getting, so the tailbone pressing back, press through the forearms, tailbone up to the ceiling and finding some space there. Breathe in, breathe out. A few more breaths, ground down. Feel out your tailbone, right? You can scoop it down, you can point it up, feeling out the low back and finding decompression in your lower back. Take one more breath. Hold it right there. Inhale here. And exhale. We're going to come up to a seated position. So just kind of walking the knees in a bit closer. Come up, sit up nice and tall, the center of your mat. So just starting to sit up here, and then feel a lengthening up through the crown of the head. You can actually do this. Bring your palms beside your hips and press the floor. So you're actually going to press down and feel that decompression of the spine, a lengthening up through the crown of the head. Breathe there. Inhale and exhale. press the floor, lengthen your spine. And then just take that pressure off the hands. Interlace your hands and you're gonna press them up to the ceiling now, yeah? So lengthen up in the sides of the body. Really feel that lifting still. So not dumping, right? You don't wanna dump into the lower back. Keep the lift, keep the tailbone scooping down, chest lifting up. You can kind of lift up and over to the right side, just a little side body stretch there. Breathe, stretch. Come back to center, press your palms up to the ceiling, go to the other side. Side body stretch for a couple breaths, really lengthening out of the waist, tucking down through the tailbone. Decompression of the lumbar spine, right? Open it up, lengthen. Come back to center, one more breath, chest up, look up, and then hands down. We're gonna move into staff pose, okay? So I'm gonna turn sideways here. Staff pose, similar to what we were just doing with our legs crossed, only now the legs will be straight. Make some space here. So where the tailbone goes, it depends on what your back is feeling, okay? So you might need to actually curl your tailbone under a little bit to get a little bit more space in the low back. For me, it feels good to put the tailbone back, yeah, to take the sit bones back, to take some flesh out from under my seat. And then from here, in a nice tall seat, staff pose is a really simple pose. It's just sitting up tall, but it comes from the pressure in the hands again. So you ground through the palms and lengthen up through the crown of the head. There's a decompression of the spine. Shoulders not like crunching up. Feel that. Press the floor. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Feel chest lifting. Really press down into the floor. If you've got a little bit shorter arms, I'm just on the fine point. I can't lift my bum off the floor at all. That's as much as if I'm pressing as much as I can and I do not lift up. If your maybe hands don't quite reach the ground, 2 blocks or 2 books under your hands, just something beside your hips to give you that decompression, that lift up through the crown of the head. That lift up out of the low back, out of the waist. A couple more breaths in staff. Then breathe out. One more lengthen. Release the pressure on the hands. Seated single leg extension. So you're gonna take your left foot just off from center a little bit. Maybe, you take it to 11 o'clock from 12 o'clock and then put your right foot to your inner left thigh. Square your chest over your left leg and then you're gonna fold here. So again, taking that lengthening out of the lower back, tucking the chin as you fold over your leg. Breathe in, breathe out. One more, tuck the chin, lengthen the spine, pull a little deeper. Breathe in here. Last exhale. And come back up. We'll switch sides. Seated single leg extension. So your right foot now at 1 o'clock. Take your left foot to your inner thigh, and then you'll fold over the right leg. Draw the crown of the head towards your toes. Press down through the left knee towards the floor. And really, again, lengthening the spine. Lengthening the lower back. Breathe in. Pull yourself deeper into that stretch. Inhale here. And exhale. And gently come back up to sit. We will come down onto our back for bridge. Okay, so bridge pose with a block is what I would recommend. This, I think, is possibly the nicest release of my lower back for me personally, right? And everybody is different, so everybody's body might not feel the same in this, but in a supported bridge with a block, what you want to do here, and again, you want to probably have a foam block. The cork ones, if you have one, I would set a towel or something over it to soften the edges. A foam block feels nice. And it's coming up. Bridge is a nice extension of the lower back regardless. So if you don't have any prop there, it's just lifting the hips, right? And you might not lift them as much as you would for a fiery expression of the pose, just kind of grounding through triceps, lifting up, and just taking some pressure out of the lower back. It feels nice. This feels nice to me here. And then if you have a foam block, so what you're gonna do is on the medium height, okay? So medium width, not the highest height, not the lowest height, but the medium. You're gonna press your lower back onto the block there. So it's just above my tailbone, okay? My tailbone is maybe like 1.5 inches below the bottom of the block. So from there, it's just kind of lined up with my lower back, with my lumbar spine, and I can kind of rest onto it. And again, this should feel nice. If it's in a place where there's pinching or it's hurting, you're not putting the block in the right spot maybe, or maybe it's not for your body, okay? So just feel it out. If this doesn't feel good, you can just be down on your back with your knees falling from side to side, which will be there in a minute with you. Just really feel out your low back. You can kind of wiggle on the block, just really massaging it out. This is such a nice release for me in my practice. If I'm feeling like I'm about to do a big wheel or something, a quick supported bridge can really help to create some space down there. If you're experiencing like serious lower back pain, this might not feel nice again. So it's really feeling out your body and doing what you need. It's just a bit of tension. This can help to relieve the tension. A couple more breaths wherever you are, just breathing right here. One more big, big breath. You'll lift your hips up off the block if it's there and just bring your hips down to the floor. Yeah. Let your knees fall from side to side. So do that. You can kind of cactus your arms out to the sides and just really generously, knees to the right, knees to the left. Starting to take on that stretch through the side body and the low back. And come back to center. Give yourself a squeeze in. Knees into your chest. Keeping your low back on the floor as much as you can, so not lifting the low back off the floor, right? Keep it grounded, and then make some circles with your knees. So this is really nice here, massaging out the low back. Really focus, that's the purpose. Don't focus as much on the circles of your knees as on the whole lower back, right? Like from one side to the other, pressing into the floor with each circle. Go the other direction, circles, really with that focus on lumbar spine, grounding, tailbone grounding down. Keep both knees into your chest, squeeze them both in, and then you will drop both of your knees over to the left side of your mat. So drop them both down. Keep your knees stacked, shoulders on the ground. So your knees might not come all the way over to one side, yeah, and they might have to kind of unstack from each other. If that happens, that's okay. But trying to keep them as close up to your armpit as you can. The more you bring your knees up towards your left armpit, the more this is going to help to relieve some pressure in the low back, okay? So shoulders stay grounded down. And just active here in your breathing. Lengthen the side body. Deepen the twist. Come back to center. Make sure that your tailbone is centered. So mine shifted over to the right. I'm going to bring it back to the center of my mat. From here, both knees come in. Really give it a nice squeeze. And then to the other side, supine twist. So draw both knees to your right. Gets you through the left side body, the low back. Keep your shoulders on the floor. So trying to avoid the shoulder lifting, right? Keep it rooted down. Belly is engaged, supporting the twist, supporting the back. Breathe. And twist a bit deeper. One more. Come back to center. Give your knees a squeeze in. So we're going to do another variation of the supine twist. So that was one version. Other version is with one leg straight. Supine twist is an amazing low back release, right? So you can just literally lie there taking this on your floor if you're living room watching TV, if your back needs that. Left leg long to start. You draw the right knee into the chest, and then use your left hand here kind of as an assistant to draw that knee over. So your left hand is drawing the right knee across the body. And again, this right knee might not hit the floor, okay? It's more important to keep your shoulders on the ground than it is to get this knee all the way over. And just really gliding that left hand down the outer right thigh to help with the twist. Not forcing anything. You don't want to grab yourself and wrench yourself into a twist. It's not about that, right? It's just finding the space, finding the lengthening through the spine and the low back. Breath in, breath out. And come back through center. Bring your hips back to center again, right? Straighten the right leg, draw the left knee in. The last one here, supine twist to the other side. Ground down through the left shoulder and draw the left knee across the body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gliding your right hand down the outer left thigh to help with the twist. Your belly button pulls into your spine. Inhale. Twist a bit deeper. One more. Come back to center. Give your knees a squeeze. Make some last little circles in each direction with your knees. And then you can release into Shavasana. So with Shavasana, this can actually cause, I've got another block over here. If you have some blocks or even some 2 towels rolled up, having something under the backs of your knees can really help relieve lower back pain. Like, if you don't have back pain, you might not get that lying on the floor can be uncomfortable, right? But it can be really uncomfortable if your lower back is not feeling good. Just 2 blocks here, or 2 towels rolled up, or even 1 towel or a blanket rolled up, just something under your knees while you take your Shavasana can really help to relieve the low back. Scooping the tailbone down to create that space there. Close your eyes and just allow yourself to land here. Unwind. Now focus on relieving tension in your lower back, right? That's your intention with this practice today. If there's tension there, send your breath. Send that energy to relieve some of the tension. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. Reach your fingertips up over your head. Take a full body stretch here. Point your toes. Stretch your whole body. Knee will roll onto your right side. Take a fetal position. Knees into your chest. Remove the blocks if they're there, yeah. Get the props out of the way. On your right side, just rest your head on your bicep for a moment. Still breathing. And you'll come up to a seated position, nice and slow. Keep your eyes closed. Sit up tall. Press your palms into the floor beside your hips just to lengthen the spine a little bit. Hands to heart center. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Thumbs to the center of your forehead. Thank you for practicing with me today. Together we bow and say, Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I hope your lower back feels a little bit of relief. Please comment below. Let me know how that felt. Let me know if you want to see anything else, if there's another maybe for your knees, for your hips, different stretches you might want. I'm happy to accommodate. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with anyone that you think might need a little bit of relief in their lower back. I will see you again soon. Keep moving your body, keep nourishing your body, and stay connected to your yoga practice. Yeah, have an awesome rest of your day.